latest news in North Central Washington, go to ncwlife.com or find us on Facebook. Got a news tip? Email us at news@ncwlife.com or call 888-2020.
Good Thursday evening and welcome to the NCW Life Evening News. I'm Grant Olson. Before we get to today's top news stories, let's take a quick look outside our weather window. And man, what a beautiful day today. A lot cooler temperatures out there. The last time I checked, we were at about 85 degrees at Pangbourne Airport. That's probably about where we'll top off, maybe a couple of degrees warmer than that, but sure feels a lot better than that 96 yesterday. We had double 99s on Sunday and Monday. So now a cooler day, back to where we should be as far as temperatures as we look down the beautiful Upper Valley and Leavenworth from our Tumwater Sky-Fi Tower camera. And hardly a cloud out there today. Winds are a lot lighter than actually we really thought they would be today, but the Weather Service still did issue a red flag warning this morning at 9 a.m. and that will go until tonight at about 9 p.m. We could see gusty winds. We are seeing low humidity and we all know very dry vegetation. So the fire potential is definitely out there. The good news though today, as I mentioned, not as much wind as we originally thought. And will the temperatures stay cool? We'll talk more about that and take a look at your weekend forecast coming up a little bit later on. And now a few of the stories we're following for you tonight. The public is invited to submit their comments on a draft plan from the Forest Service to relocate mountain goats from the Olympic Mountains to the North Cascades. Site preparation work continues on the site of the future downtown Wenatchee Fire Station for Chelan County Fire District 1. And a popular East Wenatchee eatery and watering hole has closed its doors for good. But first we begin tonight. Funding has been denied for a proposal to transport grizzly bears to the North Cascades following the approval of H.R. 6147. Representative Dan Newhouse drafted an amendment that denies the funding for the U.S. Department of Interior, putting a halt to the long scrutinized plan to relocate grizzly bears into the region. Newhouse said, he was pleased the House approved the bill for rural areas of central Washington, saying, quote, transporting grizzly bears to the North Cascades would have a harmful impact on rural residents. Federal agencies must take sound science into account as well as the input of the local community and local residents. Voices must be heard. The legislation also included funding for wildfire prevention, language to remove gray wolves from the federal endangered species list, and provisions for the critical North Cascades smoke jumper base in Winthrop. Well, the public is invited to submit their comments on a draft plan from the Forest Service to relocate mountain goats from the Olympic Mountains to the North Cascades. The Olympic, Mount Baker, and Snoqualmie and Okanagan Wenatchee National Forests are opting for alternative D from an environmental impact study to reduce the mountain goat population in the Olympic National Park as they're not native to that area. The plan also includes the lethal removal of the remaining mountain goats in the park. According to officials, numbers in the Cascades are low, and moving the goats will increase diversity and provide them with more and preferred habitat. The Forest Service released the record of decision in June and will make a final decision following the objection period. The National Park Service will begin the coordinating process for capture and translocation operations this summer. Any objections to the plan can be submitted via mail or electronically. Visit ncwlife.com for the online links to submit those comments. Site preparation work continues on the site of the future downtown Wenatchee Fire Station for Chelan County Fire District 1. The property that was formerly occupied by Prospector Pie's restaurant along Wenatchee Avenue is currently fenced off as the district prepares to contract out the demolition of the old building. Deputy Fire Chief Mike Burnett.
We're really close with going out for bid. It's in preliminary plan review with the city to make sure that there's no surprises. Last thing we'd want to do is send it out for bid, get all our bids back, and then find out that we missed something with the city. And so they'll review the plan first, make sure that we're in compliant with everything that they're going to require of us, and then it'll go out for bid. So Our hope is that by August the 1st it'll be out to bid.
The district is also nearing completion on its new Station 13 facility located at the bottom of Ncwlife Road.
We actually have 2 projects going on with new fire stations, all funded either through federal grants or the money that the citizens allowed us to collect for our capital replacement plans and stuff. And so both of those, we're not going out for a bond or anything for those stations, and the one at the bottom of Ncwlife is actually paid for. 50% of it was done through a community development block grant, and then the other was for funding from the fire district.
So that one's got a little further along than the one after.
It is. We're just going through that punch list. Anyone that's ever built a home knows what the punch list is, and just taking care of the last little details. The door doesn't shut right, or the molding is crooked. Those are the little things. But that station is really close out there.
Burnett will be retiring in February and is currently helping new fire chief Brian Brett with his transition. Well, a popular East Wenatchee eatery and watering hole has closed its doors for good. The sign outside the Clearwater Saloon, Casino and Steakhouse reads, "Permanently closed." The business takes up almost the entire block along Valley Mall Parkway. There was no explanation immediately available from ownership as to why they closed. Coming up next, a Wenatchee woman has been charged in the death of her infant son as 34-year-old Elaine A. Hurd appeared in Douglas County Superior Court on Monday. A tentative agreement between the Chelan PUD and the Port of Chelan County could lead the way for a new facility for the PUD. A bipartisan group of lawmakers in Congress has introduced legislation to replace the H-2A Foreign Agricultural Guest Worker Program. And in our weekly Kennel Cameos feature, we meet Rocky the dog. I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the NCW Life Evening News.
Oh, hey Nate, what you doing there?
I'm just reading a book.
A book? I didn't even know they made those anymore. Where'd you get it?
Right down the street at Yield Bookshop.
Yield Bookshop, I'm gonna go check it out.
If you're looking for a good book to read, or you're in the market for some beautiful handcrafted creations from local artisans, look no further than Yield Bookshop right in the heart of downtown Wenatchee.
I love nature, but I signed up to lease Hondas, not take a hike.
I know, right?
Hey everybody, come on up. The reason why I brought you out here is for a great team building exercise.
Customer wants to talk lifetime warranty. Can I go?
Yeah, go.
Hey, us too, we gotta go.
Go.
It's a free walk-in job search assistance center. It is designed to help job seekers with the tools that they need to find a job. We have partnered with libraries in 5 other cities, providing the same types of services that we offer here, just there.
Just walk in, we have laptops, and we can help you with resume, cover letter.
All of our services are paid for by the revenues earned in our store. Goodwill is just a tool that the community is using to help their neighbors find a job. Goodwill, there's more behind the store.
Welcome back. In another news, a Wenatchee woman has been charged in the death of her infant son. 34-year-old Elaine A. Hurd appeared in Douglas County Superior Court on Monday and was charged with second-degree manslaughter and possibly fourth-degree criminal mistreatment. Prosecutors charged that Hurd failed to obtain necessary medical treatment for her 2-year-old son for a broken arm and blunt force trauma to his head, which resulted in the boy's death. The boy was treated for a head injury after having a seizure at Hurd's former boyfriend's house back in June of last year in the East Wenatchee area. He died at Harborview Medical Center in Seattle in August. The mother's boyfriend was a suspect initially, but was later released. If convicted, Hurd could face up to 10 years in jail and a $20,000 fine. A tentative agreement between the Chelan PUD and the Port of Chelan County could lead the way for a new facility for the PUD. NCW Life's Dan Kuntz has more.
A purchase agreement between the two agencies has the PUD buying land north of the Wenatchee River Bridge in the old station area from the port as the PUD sells its ownership interests at the Confluence Technology Center to the port. Discussions began late in 2017 for the PUD to purchase 19 acres in the old station area near the CTC. Chelan County Port Executive Director Pat Jones sees the agreement as a win for several agencies in the Wenatchee area, saying, quote, "This helps advance the port's strategic plan by putting vacant property to good use by the PUD," end quote. Jones went on to say the agreement also gives the port the opportunity to maximize the community benefit of the CTC while developing new facilities in other parts of the county. The Chelan PUD says this potential move to Old Station would help consolidate operations from Holly Street and at the headquarters campus. Wenatchee Mayor Frank Kuntz says the city looks forward to working with the two entities to find the future use for the PUD headquarters building, adding that the city will be involved in the study, giving way to, quote, "tremendous potential for development," end quote, to enhance the downtown core. The port and PUD hopes to close the transactions by the end of the year. Before the transaction is final, each entity will provide complete details within the agreement and provide an opportunity for public comment. The community will have an opportunity for getting involved with design options for the potential new PUD headquarters complex this fall. More information is available on the PUD's website. For NCW Life News, I'm Dan Kuntz.
A bipartisan group of lawmakers in Congress have introduced legislation to replace the H-2A Foreign Agricultural Guest Worker Program. Co-sponsor, 4th District Congressman Dan Newhouse, says the AG and Legal Workforce Act replaces what he described as the outdated and broken program with the new H-2C program. That new program would be made available to both seasonal and year-round agricultural employers. Newhouse claims the bill ensures farmers and ranchers will have access to a reliable workforce.
It will provide an ability to bring legal status to the current workforce and also be able to bring legally a source of workers for the agricultural industry if necessary from outside the country. And so, then another important facet of this is also imposing the electronic verification system that would be a requirement for employers to use to verify that employees in fact do have legal status in the country, which is also a very important factor in immigration reform.
Proponents claim the bill's provisions are supported by over 200 agricultural groups, including the American Farm Bureau Federation. Time now for our weekly Kennel Cameos feature from the Wenatchee Valley Humane Society. Today, NCW Life's Megan McPherson introduces us to Rocky the dog.
Hey guys, Megan here with the NCW Life channel. We are here with Don Davies, the Executive Director of the Wenatchee Valley Humane Society, and also joining us is Rocky. Can you tell us about Rocky?
Rocky is a gorgeous German Shepherd. He's just 2.5 years old, so you can see he's still got a lot of puppy energy left in him. He is a lot of fun. He's really sweet, really playful. He's been at the shelter for a little while now, but we're just looking for an adoption for him that could be someone who's willing to take him to obedience, take him for walks and work with him. He really wants to please. He just needs someone to teach him how.
All right, and if someone wanted to adopt Rocky, what should they do?
They can come down to the Humane Society at 1474 South Wenatchee Avenue. We're open 11 to 6 Monday through Friday or 11 to 3 on weekends.
Great. Rocky, do you have anything to say?
Rocky says...
The Wenatchee Valley Humane Society is located at 1474 South Wenatchee Avenue and is open Monday through Friday from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. and Saturday and Sunday from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Give them a call at 509-662-9577 or visit their website at wenatcheehumane.org. This has been Kennel Cameos at the Wenatchee Valley Humane Society.
You're watching the NCW Life Evening News. Coming up next, your sports update with Eric Grantstrom and our feature story tonight. That and much more still to come on the NCW Life Evening News. Stay with us.
Eastern Washington It's a great place to call home and a great time to own a home. It's the ideal place to lay down roots for your family and your future. Gisa Credit Union thinks Eastern Washington is a great place to own a home, too. That's why we offer all kinds of home loans with personal attention every step of the way. We're your home. For home loans, we're Gisa Credit Union.
With 15,000 square feet to explore, you'll find something special at the Antique Mall at Cashmere. For the do-it-yourselfers and those with a keen eye for making something old fresh and new again, the Antique Mall at Cashmere is the place to come find your next project. From the coin enthusiasts to avid collectors, Antique Mall at Cashmere has treasures in every corner. Come find your treasure today. Antique Mall at Cashmere's friendly staff is here to help. Stop on by today.
So Pam, how's your mom doing?
She's okay. She's struggling. She'd like to stay in her house, and it's getting harder for her to do the daily chores.
What kinds of problems is she having?
Just basic house cleaning, you know, taking care of her house, yard work, taking care of her medicine.
Mm-hmm. It does sound exhausting.
It is very exhausting, and I always worry about her.
Aging and Adult Care can assist you or your loved one to remain comfortably and safely in their own home. Contact them today to start the conversation. And now it's a sports update on the NCW Life channel.
And a happy Thursday, day before the weekend. Hunter Boyd scattered 5 hits and a solo home run in the top of the 9th inning, tossing a complete game for the Apple Sox at Wenatchee's 10-1 win over Portland last night. Boyd, a senior at the College of Idaho and graduate of Moses Lake High School, struck out 8 in a masterful performance and became one of the very few Apple Sox pitchers to go the distance in a 9-inning game.
Game 2, Pickles ran away with that in the laugher, a 9-0 triumph. Down on 3 strikes, looking is Cooper for the second out of the inning. Looking for back-to-back strikeouts to end the inning. Delivers, and there it is, called strike 3. 2 balls, no strikes, 2 outs in the bottom of the 6th. Hit hard by McCord to right field. He singled in the 1st and 3rd inning, 2 for 3 on the day. Connects on this pitch, lofts it high in the air, but very playable. Johnny Sage will make the catch, and the Apple Sox win. A great effort on the mound from Hunter Boyd.
Joel Norman with the Apple Sox Radio Network on the call. Video courtesy of the Sox Facebook live feed. Connor McCord finished 2 for 4 with a run and 3 RBIs. Jordan Rathbone was 3 for 5 with 3 runs. Sox and Pickles play again tonight at 7:05. Well, earlier in the day yesterday, the Apple Sox fans got a chance to get this year's team photos autographed by the team at Pybus Public Market. Our own Grant Olson caught up with the head coach, Kyle Crustangel, and asked what kind of spark his team may need to make a playoff run here in the second half of the West Coast League season.
A little bit of consistency. I think we're starting to really play some good baseball. We opened up 6 games in a row with Bellingham, which they won the first half, so a very tough team there. But really, I think we're really close. I think, look for us, the offense has put together some really good games in a row. Pitching staff's been throwing a lot better. Team has really gelled as we've had our whole team here for about the last couple of weeks as the first half guys are coming in and out the whole time. So again, we're fired up. We're excited, ready for a couple home games. We look to see some consistency. I think when that comes, we'll definitely make a run in the second half.
Now, Crustangel is also the head coach at Yakima Valley Community College. He says there's quite a difference between the CC and summer collegiate baseball.
Yeah, a big difference. I think when the collegiate, we go out and recruit, we bring them in, we get them for a couple years over at Yakima Valley Community College. We get 9 months to kind of mold them, change them, shape them, get them to kind of play in our system. Summer baseball is a ton of fun. Obviously we get a lot of the premium talent, a lot of Division I guys, a lot of draft guys. So it's definitely different in that regard. But we still have our culture. We're definitely still looking to play the game the right way and play hard. We definitely don't know as much about the guys as they come from certain schools. A lot of times our first chance that we get to see them live is our first practice, first game. But again, at the end of the day, it's still baseball. It's just a higher level of baseball. So I know the coaching staff enjoys wearing both hats at the college level and the summer level. This one's definitely a little bit more fun as you're just playing games all day.
Wenatchee finished the first half of the season 11-14, off to a 3-4 start here for the second half. Also, the West Coast League last night, as we open up the Les Schwab scoreboard, Tyler Lash was 3 for 4 with a run and extended his hitting streak to 7 straight games. He led the Yakima Valley past Port Angeles 4-3. Kelowna was leading Bend 8-3 in the top of the 8th inning at Elk Stadium in beautiful British Columbia when the sprinklers came on, and no one can get them to shut off, so the game will have to resume today in the top of the 8th, and they'll have their scheduled game time at 6:35. Jordan Hovey was 2 for 2 with a run and 2 RBIs to lead Walla Walla to a 5-4 win over Bellingham at Burlesky Stadium. Zach Taylor drove in a run with a double and scored on a wild pitch in the top of the 9th to lead Corvallis to a 3-2 road win at Victoria. On the West Coast League schedule for today, again, Bend and Kelowna will finish last night's sprinkler delayed game and then have their regular contest. Corvallis at Victoria, Port Angeles at Yakima Valley, Walla Walla hosting Bellingham. Portland plays the Apple Sox at 7:05 tonight. That's sports news. I'm Eric Grantstrom on the NCWLife channel. Grant, back to you.
Thank you, Eric. The Wenatchee Valley Chamber of Commerce hosted a second candidates forum in consecutive days this morning at Pybus Public Market. Today's guests were candidates running for 2 positions in the 12th Legislative District. Position 1 being vacated by Carrie Condata. Position 2 candidates challenging the incumbent Mike Steele.
Background about me, born and raised obviously. I moved up to Waterville my senior year in high school, where I completed and graduated. After I graduated, I joined the U.S. Navy. After the U.S. Navy, I got my degree in political science at Eastern Washington University. I later started working for the state legislature and capital budget committee. And then I started working for Congress Riker, which actually represents the area of Wenatchee in the 8th Congressional District. After he announced his retirement, of course, in August, I took a look at my next steps and I decided to move back to Washington.
Health means having a roof over your head and having food on the table and having secure neighborhoods, safe schools, and that is part of the reason why I'm running. Another part of why I'm running is I'm tired of hearing about one party saying one thing and one party saying another, and them digging in. Because in that fight, the voices of my patients and of all of you get lost. So I'm running independent.
And when you pass more regulations down to small business, you've created another unfunded mandate for that business that has to come out of their bottom line. So my motivation and one of the reasons that I feel like I'm qualified to do this is my background in agriculture. I've been dealing with tourism, which is a major industry here in the district. And those are the things that the message needs to get to Olympia about how legislation impacts the people who are really trying to create jobs and help people live better lives.
One of the things that I'm really passionate about, and one of the things I want to see continuing as discussion points in Olympia, is career and technical education, career-connected learning, economic development, obviously, and job growth in rural communities like ours. Those are really important points. And as someone who has a background in economic development, I really want to focus on ways we can bring those living wage jobs to the 12th Legislative District. The other thing I hear a lot about as I travel around the district and have traveled around the district in the last 2 years is workforce housing.
Basically, I'm incredibly tired of the binary character of politics these days. It's either Republican or it's Democrat or whatever. I mean, and that simply does not work. I have never been either. I am in a position, I think, to understand the points of view of both. I'm running independently because basically I'm not a joiner and I prefer to keep ideology out of it.
One of my focuses would be to really inform people about what's going on and what are the different perspectives, and especially what are some of the ramifications of the decisions that are being made at the state. Because a lot of times we'll hear very simplistic ideas about trickle down, that's going to work just fine, or cutting back regulations on small businesses will immediately allow them to flourish, and it's not that simple.
Only one candidate was not present, Democratic candidate C. Keiki Stacy Weigel, who was on her son's graduation trip to Hawaii. Ballots for the August 7th primary election are being mailed out on Friday. We'll be back with a look at what's happening around the area this weekend and your complete local weather forecast right after this.
Stormy Mountain Brewing and local public house, featuring great family dining in downtown Chelan. We've got burgers, pub fare, and the best barbecue around. Try one of our award-winning sauces made fresh here in-house. So grab the whole gang and come on down. Stormy Mountain Brewing. Beer, barbecue, friends, and beer.
Welcome back to the NCW Life Evening News. Time now for NCW Life's Megan McPherson to fill us in on some of the events going on this weekend.
Here's a look at what's on tap this weekend around the Wenatchee Valley. The ChelanMan Multisport Weekend is this Saturday, July 21st to Sunday, July 22nd at Lakeside City Park in Chelan. Local athletes come together to promote healthy activities for the youth in their community. The vision is to create exceptional multisport events that take advantage of the race venues of the Lake Chelan area. 100% of ChelanMan profits are donated to the Lake Chelan Multisport Foundation. The mission of the Lake Chelan Multisport Foundation is to embrace healthy lifestyles through support of arts, literature, science, and wellness programs for youth in the Chelan Valley. Catch one of the performance dates of My Fair Lady this Friday at the Leavenworth Fish Hatchery in the beautiful Icicle Valley. One of the greatest musicals of all time, My Fair Lady is a masterpiece of musical comedy blending intellect, wit, and high spirits. The brilliant score includes I Could Have Danced All Night, The Rain in Spain, On the Street Where You Live, and I've Grown Accustomed to Her Face. The Sound of Music is still playing at the Leavenworth Ski Hill Amphitheater, and another performance is this Saturday night. The story of the Von Trapp family has found a place in the hearts of everyone who sees it. Come for a truly enchanting evening under the stars as Maria sings the title song on the pine-covered hillside. It's magical. The final weekend for the Icicle Creek Chamber Music Festival is this Friday and Saturday in the Canyon Wren Recital Hall in Leavenworth. Both concerts start at 7 p.m. Get your tickets at icicle.org. And finally, the Wenatchee Valley Farmers Market is this Saturday and every Saturday until the 27th of October in the west parking lot of Pybus Market from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. Local farmers, artisans, winemakers, bakers, and chefs make up the friendly, hardworking vendors of the Farmers Market. Eat healthy, eat local, and come support your local growers and producers. For more information on this weekend's events, visit ncwlife.com.
Time now for a check of your North Central Washington weather forecast, and we do have a red flag warning in place right now until 9 p.m. tonight, and then another one in place tomorrow morning from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. The good news today, we were much cooler. Didn't it feel great out there, and light winds, but our humidities are still low and that vegetation still dry out there, so still high fire danger. Taking a look at our temperature map over the next 4 days, today we will see, well, we did see, I should say, some very mild temperatures. We'll continue with that trend tomorrow. There is an area of weak low pressure that's tracking across Washington State from up in British Columbia, and that's why we're seeing the cooler temperatures. To kick off our weekend on Saturday, things look absolutely gorgeous with temperatures in the mid to upper 80s, about normal for this time of year. Enjoy it though, folks, because by the time we get into Sunday and especially into the first part of our next work week, it's going to warm up again. We should hit about 90 degrees on Sunday and then even warmer than that as you notice our temperature colors starting to darken up, the oranges and reds once again, and we are going to continue to climb with those temperatures all through next week. Let's take a look at that quick lube and tune forecast now, and tonight 59 degrees, one of the coolest nights we've seen for overnight lows. 85 tomorrow, a bit of a northwest breeze, 87 on Saturday, and then look at that warm up, 91 Sunday and all the way to 98 on Wednesday. And that's going to do it for our newscast tonight. For more on these stories and other news from around North Central Washington, you can find us on Facebook or our website at ncwlife.com. And remember, if you see news happening, we'd like to hear from you. You can send us an email at news@ncwlife.com or give us a call at 888-6295. Also, keep it right here on the NCW Life channel tomorrow morning for Wake Up Wenatchee Valley with host Dan Kuntz and News with Steve Hare. Thanks for joining us and have a great night.
Hey there, Wenatchee. I'm Sean Lee, and I'm inviting you to check out the NCW Movie Guide to keep up on what movies are playing in our town.